Well, Coach, early indications of what you see as you get ready for the scrimmage coming up on Thursday.
Well, I think, obviously we lost a lot. We lost our point guard in Sutherland and Hunter Ferris, big-time starters for us the last 3 years, have done a great job for us. But we'll return our big fella. And, Garrett, we're looking for to have a really good, solid year just like he has for the 4 years he's been here. And Caleb Craig's back. So we don't return a lot of scoring. We don't return a lot of rebounding other than the big guys. So we're going to have to find those things. And that's the big thing coming into Thursday. Who's going to do what? We're young. I love our youth for the fact that they really get after it every day. Every day is a great practice. And so I think we're going in the right direction with them.
Talk about Garrett and his development over the last, or at least over this summer coming into this year, and what do you see as improvement and what he needs to improve upon?
Well, he's really taken the role now. We told him now there's no longer, he's the main man. Everything's going to go through him. He's like a one-way street, and it's okay if it just stays on the end of his street if we want it to. But, he's looking forward to doing some big things for us. Everything's centered around him, obviously, and, he's really worked on his left hand, his little hook shot now he's got. He can shoot the ball from the three-point line now, so he's really taken some steps. He reminds me of Matt Howard to play for me at Connersville between that junior and senior year where he was able to take steps and now knock down outside shots. So that's going to add something to his repertoire.
Does he seem to cherish that role now that he's going to be that guy on the team?
Well, I think so. In the past, he's not a real demanding kind of guy. He's a shy kind of guy. And so, when we tell him he has to demand the ball, that means he might say, hey, throw me the ball versus, scream for it. But he really likes that, and he likes the fact that, basically it's his group, and he's been here for a long time, and Caleb's been with him. Caleb started ever since his sophomore year. So for those two guys, it's their last go-around together, and I think that's important to him.
Caleb said the one thing he wants to do is be a better leader this year, and he wants to put more points on the board, something you probably ask of him now that he's a senior.
Oh, absolutely. And Caleb's a tremendous shooter. But like I said, last year he was like the fourth option in the offense. So sometimes he didn't get shots. Now, he's number 2 in the offense. So, and he's got the green light to shoot from anywhere. He's a very solid three-point shooter. And the thing that I have liked about him is something he mentioned, his leadership. He's come in and he's really tried to help the young kids through it. He knows that we've got some kids with some inexperience. And I think he's done a great job of trying to get them in the right positions.
As you look at it right now, who are some of those other kids that are going to have to step up for you?
Well, obviously, I think Cameron Gwynn has to step up big for us, sophomore, and Hayden Pierce. Both of those guys are sophomores. Both of them played JV last year. Cameron played some varsity towards the end of the year before he got hurt. Those two guys we have to have something out. Hayden Pierce is really athletic, got really long arms. He can get things done, especially on the defensive end. And then we got a freshman, Darian Bishop, that we're looking for some big things out of him. He's about 6'1", rock solid build, and he can do some things. He really does well on the offensive rebounds. He had a really nice summer for us, so we're looking for big things in him. And probably the biggest feather in our cap right has been the play of Austin Wampler. He's coming in, and Austin understands the game really well, and now he's letting things come to him. He's not trying to do too much. He's doing what we need him to do, and so I'm looking for big things out of him as well.
Coach, with you losing the talent you had last year, do you change a whole lot? I mean, the system pretty much stays the same, but other than making sure that the focus is on the big guy and you're in your guard, do you change anything else?
Well, we did change some things up. We unlike college, it's nice to think you have a system and you stay with it and plug guys in, but sometimes they don't fit the right plug in, so you have to change things a little bit. So we have tweaked some things, some what we're running. We tried to simplify a few things for some kids, especially the younger kids, so it's not such a big rush for them early. Maybe after game 4 or 5, we can start putting in some other stuff, but for right now we're just trying to keep it real simple. With this group, we just want to be really good at 2 or 3 things on offense and 2 or 3 things on defense. If we can do that and put ourselves in a position where we can be competitive early and get these kids some confidence, then I like where we're heading.
Well, you get a good matchup Thursday in your scrimmage. Talk about that. What do you try to accomplish there?
Well, I'm telling you, Greensburg, over the years I've been here, has been tremendous. They've won a couple state championships. They've had 5 or 6 Division I players. So it's always a treat to see who Coach Stace has coming in here. But what we're looking for is we want to look for movement, especially on the offensive end. Sometimes we get so stagnant throwing the ball to Garrett, and everybody wants to stand and watch and see an ooh and ah what kind of move he's going to make. And we got to really work on making sure that we're doing a lot of movement. The second thing is how we're going to defend. And, we got some guys now that I think athletically can handle some people, but now we've not been in that kind of atmosphere. Everybody out here, they're better athletes than they are. That's why they're playing varsity and not JV. So from that standpoint, that's going to be an interesting thing for us. But my biggest probably whole concern over the whole thing is going to be rebounding. Obviously we know Garrett's going to get some rebounds, but he's not going to get every rebound. And we've got to count on more people to get rebounds than him.
Hey, I got to ask you, you know as well as anybody, TEC is going to be tough again this year. Talk a little bit about that fight night in and night out.
Well, I think that probably the most balanced it's been for a while. You know, Northeastern the last few years has really had dominating talent. And I mean, and there's no other way of putting it other than that. Tyler Smith has been the best player in the conference for 3 years, and you know, obviously he's going on to play somewhere else. He's pretty darn good. Northeastern's had a really good run of kids. I think this year everybody's got some really good key pieces, and everybody's got those question mark pieces. I mean, I think Hagerstown with the Oliver kid, he's a player. He's an athlete. He showed down on a football field. You've got Union County with the Sanford kid. I mean, they're very solid. You got Winchester that's solid. You know, it's a grind. It is a grind, and I think a couple teams like Tri, they have the ability to sneak up and maybe get somebody on a home meet. Union City, I like the way they played this summer. So I think you go down the line, Centerville. You know, the Dupree kid, they're showing him bench pressing a semi out of his weight room every day. So obviously he's pretty strong. So you know, I think everybody's got a shot, and I think you're going to have to win your home games. I don't think there's any question you have to win your home games. You got to steal a couple on the road, and then you got a shot. But I think it's pretty competitive.
Hey, Coach, speaking of the schedule, it's not easy when you're thinking about all the games you've got scheduled this year, plus your own tournament, so you're going to get well tested this entire season.
Oh, yeah, and we really did some things different because we went down and we're going to play Princeton this year because I'm trying to get some exposure to Garrett in the South. We're playing in the Hobart tournament this year, and that happens to be at Knightstown, but it's still Lake Central and the Hobarts and the Wheelers, so we're getting a little different look there. I think we're playing 6 teams that Lincoln has never played before, so it's going to be a little bit of adventure for us. You know, our biggest concern right now is we just take one at a time. I've been doing this too long. You start looking down the schedule, and then first of all, it scares you to death, and you don't want to go any farther. And secondly, you know that games are won, you know, week to week. So our big concern's Westdale. We have to go up there. Last couple of years we've went up there. We haven't played well, even with some good group of kids. So you know, we got to come up there, bring some focus. We have a lot of road games this year. I think we only play 8 home games. So you know, we're going to be battle tested. We'll see what happens.
Looking forward to all this?
Oh, I always look forward to it. I've been doing this for 21 years, and as I told my wife, I just love it. And the most fun part for me is what you're seeing right here, practice. I just love practice. I think it's a great opportunity to bond with your kids. I think it's a great opportunity to teach, and you know, it's all about teaching and trying to put people in the right places, and then your rewards playing the games. You know, the games go by so fast. I always tell my wife it's amazing when a tip-off goes. It's like it's dead silent in here, and it just seems like to go by in 50 seconds. It never slows down. So, but we're excited about the year. It's a great opportunity. We love being Golden Eagle, and we'll see where we're going.